What's the simplest way to finish off a wall hanging, quilted little wall hanging? For me, it's just do it the same way I would do a larger quilt and keep it simple. This is just simply going to hang on the wall. It's not going to be used, so it doesn't have to be heavily quilted or anything like that. As you can see, I have quilted around the squares, coming down the sashings, going around the circles, and keep running around the sashing. Okay, so that's what I have done on this. Let you see that. Then I have come in and I have tied, this is what you're seeing here, 3 ties in the middle of each of the flowers so that they have the little centers, but also that helps to stabilize the quilt top to the back. So quilting down the sashing and stabilizing with tacking here in the center is enough quilting for this. Now, I also took my fabric here, which is a knit fabric, that same one I'm doing my strips and strings with. I laid it right side to right side, and I sewed a line all the way down. Okay, now I'm turning that to the back side. Okay, I'm going to turn it and secure it well to the back side. Just, it finds its own level at the edge there, so just work with that. Get it snug. Okay, put one right there. Just kind of roll it over that edge. And if you sewed a reasonably straight line, you get a reasonably straight turn. And it will hang over like that for now. Okay, we'll take care of the other part later. But meanwhile, this is our casing for the top of our little wall hanging here. Okay, so I've got a needle, thread it up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come between that here, come up at the edge, and I'm going to do an overcast stitch all along this edge. I'm going to do 2 stitches at each end because I like to make those strong. Okay. And then just come up, and whatever width you want your stitch to be, that's how far you come up on your binding. I like to come up about maybe 1/8 of an inch, something like that. I can take this out now. And however wide you want it, but I mean, you don't want it too wide. You want to be able to stabilize this really well. So maybe 1/4 of an inch. It's good for me. This does not have a lot of weight. It's not a huge quilt that's being hung, so not going to be a lot of stress on any of these seams. And we're just going to come down and sew that around, okay? All right. I'm going to sew the rest of this off camera, and then when I get ready to turn and do the back, I will be back. Well, I have gotten this part overcast, as you can see, all the way down. Then I turned it over to the back side, and I turned under the edge until I got about an inch, maybe just a little ooch more, but about an inch turned along. Now this piece that I started with was about 3 inches wide, so it gives me plenty to work with, plenty to turn under on both sides, okay? It's not that I want a really wide binding, I don't on the front, but it gives me plenty on the back too, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to overcast all the way down, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a row of stitching right here so that this binding doesn't tend to want to roll or curl. I think sometimes, especially on thin bindings like this, it'll tend to roll or curl on you. At least that's been my experience in the past. So I always try to put, if I'm going to put a thin one on the front, to put a little wider on the back and give myself room to sew it down, and then put me a stabilizing row of stitching right there, which really seems to keep that binding nice and straight, even. This is very simple, just doing an overcast here, and I will do that all the way down. Okay. I really hope you're enjoying these quilted patterns, designs. As you can see, we can make, if you can make a 9 patch or 9 square wall hanging, you can make a full-size quilt. It's the same thing. You're just adding more rows to it. That's all you're doing. But all the process is the same. Okay? So once you get started, you can decide what it is you want to do. Do you want to do a full quilt, or do you want to do a wall hanging? How about a table topper or table runner? How about a chair cushion pillow front? How about a pillow sham? There's just all kinds of things that we can do with these quilted designs. We just make them the size we need them. You can adjust the square size. Mine, I cut 6.5 by 6.5, but that doesn't mean that's the only size that you can use. You can use any size that fits the project that you want to make. As you know, there are 5 of these quilt designs going here at Icky Chic all at the same time. I'm very close to finishing the strips and strings, and I'm very close to finishing this Circle and Swirls wall hanging. Within the next couple of weeks, I will have finished 2 of these projects this year. I am so excited. I have 5 started. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I can finish all 5? And so that y'all have plenty of videos to watch and how-tos and techniques, and you can just have fun making your own. 4 of these would make a beautiful pillow cover, wouldn't it? You know, the ones that I've started with the petals, that's also made out of old scarves. I'm thinking of, instead of a quilt on that one, making a table runner. Now, that's going to be pretty good size for me because I have an 8-foot table. And I don't know if I want it to go all the way down, but I'm thinking I don't want a tablecloth on it. And my husband made it. It's very country. It's 8 foot long, has a long bench on one side. It can hold 4 chairs on the other. And but a pretty table runner would be beautiful. It's not of oversized width. It's a more narrow table. So I will let you know, but I'm thinking that's what I might do with that. And it'd be a pretty good project. But then we have the landscape that I've already decided to put into a wall hanging. And then we have the owl quilt design that I haven't decided yet what I will do with that one. Okay, so those are the 5 we've got going so far. Beautiful slow stitching projects, beautiful hand sewing adventures, wonderful home decor projects. And all made out of scraps. Isn't that wonderful? All made out of scraps. If you're in the winter part of the planet, the northern hemisphere, how's your winter treating you? Ours has been pretty brutal here for us. Winter is not something we suffer from a lot. We have a few cold snaps that come through, but boy, this winter we've had one, what they call polar vortex after another. I think we're in our 3rd. And for our temperatures to get down into the teens, that's that's cold for us. We had a wind chill factor of 3 the other night. Oh my. Last year we had one that it got down into the minus, the wind chill factor got down into the minus degrees. Very cold. I think I better tie this off before I lose enough thread to do it with. Okay, where's my scissors? Always burying my scissors. Okay. I'm going to have to forage for some more thread. So let me do that, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I have, as you see, finished the overcasting, come up, and now I'm starting this row of stitching. Now, what I'm trying to do is stay right on the back side of this part here. This is the thicker part. This is thinner down here. I don't want my stitching to show along this area, so I'm staying right along this ridge. I can feel this ridge from the back side, so it's easy for me to stay in it because I can feel where I'm at with my fingers on the back side. So I'm just going to run along that, catch that, and I won't be showing any of these threads in the actual front quilted side, but it will be stabilizing this binding. You can see how stable now this is. It's not going to roll or turn or anything like that. Just doing a simple running stitch. I wanted to also mention that if there are any designs or anything that you would like to see as we go along for these quilted pieces, I have 5 designs already up that we're working on, but I do want to do 12 in total. I do have 3 already decided on. So I'm open to suggestions. If there's anything that you would like to see and I think that I can accomplish it for you, I would certainly do that. And so if there's something that you thought that you might, a design or motif or theme that you might want to do for a quilted piece, hand-sewn, simple, then please just drop it in the comments. Okay. If there's a home decor piece that you'd like to see that I think I can accomplish, I'd be happy to try that too, so put that in the comments. I have done scrappy quilted table doilies. I've done hot trivets, hot pads for the table. I've done coasters. I have videos up then for all those things. Mostly find that in the playlist entitled The Power of Scraps to Transform. I have a lot of different scrappy things. I have a boho wall hanging that I did. I have a coat hanger wall hanging that I did. All scraps. These are all scrappy projects, all hand sewn. So if you're looking for some projects maybe you haven't thought about, check out the playlist, The Power of Scraps to Transform, and I believe that playlist link is in the description of all of my videos. I love hand stitching. I love doing art, fiber art, everything. But I do want these pieces to have a practical use. In most cases, we can find something to do with them that basically decorates our own home, our own environment, or we can gift it. But if we have something to use it with. Now, sometimes I just make pieces just for the fun of it, and I don't really have a use for it, but I know that somewhere down the line I will. And I'm really always doing little clusters of all kinds because I incorporate them in all kinds of things. So when I don't feel like working on a bigger project, I just want to play a little bit, I'll make a few little clusters. And then I can incorporate those in other pieces that I do, okay? Okay, we're just at the end of this, would you believe? How about that? Let's just go through. Now these ends, I will trim this end even when I get ready to put the next piece on the side. And I will show you that when I get to that point. Okay, there's the back side of the top, or this side anyway. I don't know if it's top, but okay. When I get through with this, I will be putting a casing to hang it on. I will be putting loops to hang it by, and I will be putting a casing on the bottom to hold weight so that my piece hangs straight on the wall. Okay, so all of those things are coming up. You don't want to miss them, so stay tuned for all these different things we're going to be doing. Okay, all right, till next time, let's stay scrap happy.